BTS Taehyung proves there's more than just global superstars in the military. Have you ever wondered how a global icon like Taehyung BTS could go from the grand stage of the music world to the field of duty in the military? If you think that Taehyung is only known for his golden voice and iconic style, then you have to see a much deeper side of him. Behind the spotlight and the crowds of fans, there is a person with a spirit of discipline, courage, and great responsibility. Kim Taehyung, better known by his stage name V, made a big move that surprised many. Taehyung embarked on his military service journey, leaving the entertainment world behind for a while to fulfill his obligations as a South Korean citizen. But who would have thought that this journey would bring us a tougher, more dedicated side of Taehyung, and even change the way we view him? Transitioning from superstar to soldier. The life of a K-pop star like Taehyung is full of media attention, luxury, and popularity. Every move, every look, even every word he utters is scrutinized. However, nothing could have prepared him for the big change he would experience when he entered the military. Taehyung, who was used to a life of glamour, now had to follow the strict rules and discipline of the military. In the military, nothing is more important than discipline, physical strength, and mental toughness. Taehyung had to let go of his superstar status and adopt a new identity as a soldier. He was no longer just a singer, but also an individual who had to prove his worth off stage. Seeing how Taehyung adapted quickly to this military environment is admirable. His successful service reveals that he is more than just an idol who performs on stage. There's a lot more that Taehyung brings to the table, and that includes a tremendous amount of maturity and responsibility. For many people, the process of adapting to military life can be very challenging, especially if they come from a very different background. However, Taehyung showed that he has a very resilient character. His success in military service is not only physical, but also mental and emotional. He was able to transform into a more disciplined person, appreciating time and understanding the meaning of hard work and sacrifice. One of the most notable aspects of Taehyung's journey in the military is how he dealt with the challenges that came his way. As an idol who is often faced with tremendous pressure, he already has tremendous mental resilience. However, in the military, he had to face even tougher things: solitude, fatigue, and a much simpler life compared to the comforts he was used to as a superstar. However, what makes Taehyung's journey so inspiring is his ability to carry on with his duties with passion and responsibility. From the very first day he entered the military, Taehyung has shown great seriousness and discipline. This is a side of him that not many people know about. Outside of entertainment, he is not only a singer with incredible talent, but also an individual who values duty and integrity. When Taehyung started his military service, many people wondered how he would adapt. Obviously, with his status as a member of BTS, his influence is much greater than most of his peers in the military. However, what makes him unique is how he is not only serving his time responsibly, but also in a way that inspires others around him. With his status as one of the biggest celebrities in the world, Taehyung is a highly respected figure. However, he has never used his status to get special treatment. Instead, he tried to go about his military service in the same way as any other soldier. This shows that despite all the luxuries and fame in showbiz, he never felt more than anyone else. Even amidst his busy schedule, Taehyung keeps in touch with fans and shows that he appreciates their support. He doesn't let his status as an idol get in the way of his responsibilities as a soldier, and this is what makes him so respected. Taehyung has shown that behind his megastar status, he has deeper values that are not only useful in entertainment but also in the real world. Taehyung's journey in the military brings us to a different perspective of him. Many people think that K-pop idols are only associated with glamorous lives, grand concerts, and big events. However, when Taehyung stepped into military life, he showed us that there is much more to understand about who he is outside of the public spotlight. Living a daily life in the barracks, away from the spotlight of cameras and fans, allowed him to get to know himself better and appreciate the simple things in life. In showbiz, idols often live in a world apart from reality, but in the military, Taehyung had to face a much more basic and harsh life. From waking up early in the morning to performing heavy duty to going through the monotonous routine, everything taught Taehyung the true meaning of physical and mental endurance. Although his life was much simpler compared to the grand life he was used to, Taehyung never complained. He adapted quickly and took on everything with a sense of responsibility. Not only is he an idol who has great influence in the entertainment world, but he is also a soldier who must undergo non-negotiable rules and obligations. His courage and mental toughness set a great example, not only for his colleagues in the military but also for his fans who admire his discipline. Many might think that Taehyung's status as a celebrity would make it easier to adapt to the military, or even grant him certain privileges. But in reality, he chose not to capitalize on his fame. Instead of receiving preferential treatment, Taehyung went out of his way to blend in with his peers, showing that he was just like them, a well-trained, disciplined individual ready to work together to fulfill his country's obligations. This earned Taehyung respect not only as a member of BTS, but also as a soldier who demonstrated high integrity. His colleagues in the military saw that even though he was a superstar, he still displayed a humble demeanor and never considered himself superior to others. In the end, Taehyung became a role model for many, both in the entertainment world and among soldiers, who saw him as a living example of a leader who not only spoke but also acted by example. One of the most striking things about Taehyung's journey is his incredible mental resilience. As an idol who is used to being in the limelight, Taehyung certainly has the ability to manage pressure. In the military, however, he had to face different pressures: solitude, monotonous routines, and strenuous tasks that were far removed from the glamorous world he was used to. However, instead of feeling depressed or overwhelmed, Taehyung used this moment to build greater mental strength. He learned to appreciate every second of time he had, whether it was for rest or work. He also learned to be more independent and resilient in the face of challenges. This is an aspect of him that many people may not know, that behind his calm demeanor on stage, Taehyung has an unshakable mentality. This mental strength not only serves him well in his military service, but also provides valuable lessons for his fans. Taehyung shows that in life we cannot always avoid challenges or difficulties, but we can choose to face them with a positive and energetic attitude. So, if we look at him as an individual, not just as an idol, we can see that Taehyung's journey in the military was a metamorphosis that made him stronger, wiser, and more humble. This is the story of how a global superstar faced the biggest challenge of his life and came back better, tougher, and more prepared for a future full of possibilities.